ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו. We are about to celebrate the annual festivity of Purim, one of the few joyous dates in the Jewish calendar. As a matter of fact, it's so joyous, our rabbis felt, you can even take some liquor, ad de lo yada, until you can't recognize really between blessed Mordechai and cursed be Haman. And Haman lived in those days, Mordechai lived in those days, but in every generation we find our Hamans, our Mordechais. Why does Jewish tradition tell you that you shouldn't be able to tell the difference between the two? Be so joyous, you can't even tell the difference between the two. Maybe because what happened in Purim is sheer luck. And this is what Purim means. Purim means to draw lots. The Jewish people were going to be destroyed, annihilated. And you know how the date was decided? By drawing a lot. Nobody protested, and the Jewish people were going to be destroyed. So since we were saved by a hairbreadth, since it was thanks to the intervention of Queen Esther, who convinced the king that this was really against her, we were saved. What if there would have been no queen? Who knows then? I always wondered, why do we have the fast of Esther the day before Purim? Even though this year, because Purim is on a Sunday, we're going to have the fast of Esther several days before. Why do we commemorate that? Well, actually, Esther asked the people to fast 3 days, not 1 day. We only fast 1 day. And then again, everything turned out all right. So why do we continue to commemorate a fast day? We should only commemorate the good outcome. We should commemorate the happiness and the joys of Purim. Maybe it's because to tell us that on that occasion we were saved. But there were many other occasions when we were not saved. There is no Purim for what happened during the Second World War because we were not saved. There's also an element in the story of Purim that is very particular. Our rabbis didn't know whether to include the book of Esther in the canon of the Bible. Why not? Because the name of God is not mentioned in the book of Esther. As if God didn't appear at all. It says in the Torah, Ve'anochi aster astir et panai. I am going to hide my presence from you, my face from you. And they felt that this is a moment that happens many a time in history. Aster astir reminds us of the word Esther. Here is where you see a mention of Esther in the Torah because God isn't present. Yet our rabbi said something else also. You know why you don't say a certain prayer which is called Hallel, the praise of God on Purim? Because the entire book of Esther is like one big Hallel to God. Maybe the name of God is not mentioned in the story of Esther, but the presence of God was there at all times. Things don't happen by drawing lots. We think they happen that way, by chance, but it isn't so. Because there is a guiding hand behind everything. So maybe we see things are very dark. We don't see how we can exit from certain situations in society. I know there are many societies in the world right now that are being oppressed. They don't see how they're going to have a happy ending to their problems. I want them to know that even though the name of God is not mentioned, God is always present in history. And in the long run, it's right that wins over wrong. In the long run, it is justice that overcomes evil. So don't despair. There'll be a better morrow. And as they say, it gets darker before it gets real light. Baboker rina. In the morning, we exclaim in joy to God. Ubalayla emunah. And at night, when things are a little dark, one has to have faith. Have faith. Everything will go the right way.